Alright guys, this is going to be my review for Modern Vampires of the City Vampire Weekend. Now, this has been a big album in my life. I know it impacted me a lot, but I'm still going to be as objective as I can. So, alright, let's get it started. First criteria is going to be the concept. The conception of it, the idea, like the ideal, like what I think they were trying to go for. Obviously, the two big themes is aristocracy on one hand, the upper class, and minimalism on the other hand. So I feel as though they were playing with these two ideas a lot in the album. You can hear it a lot in the, there's a bunch of harpsichords in the background, and yet it's, it always had a steady beat, very kind of easy to follow, and yet it's, experimental in its own way. Obviously the singer, the lyrics are very grandiose and really taking a worldly appeal to it. Yet of course it's worldly yet limited, so there's this kind of back and forth between, what is, I guess, very profound, and yet trying to kind of fit it through this narrow window, for lack of a better word. So they really played with this a lot. You can see it on, the album artwork, black and white. Whole design of it black and white, and yet it kind of, you can see this kind of a deeper something in it. So you hear his lyrics are very colorful. He's talking about all different cultural things, and then the sound of it obviously is something that's been curated for many, maybe hundreds of years. It's kind of coming to this boiling point, which is this album, which is, I think, great. It's really good, really well made. But at the same time, the idea of it, the concept of it, is slightly lacking. I feel as though it could have been done a little bit better. These are the themes that it runs through. Some songs are obviously more, pronounced. Some aren't as much, So definitely would give the concept an 8. Next we have the production, which I think follows the concept. So depending on the concept, the idea, they're gonna do things a certain way, and based on the concept, the concept wasn't, perfect. For what they're doing, it's pretty damn good. For the third album, I think this, in my opinion, was their most thought out album, their most intentional and well produced. Definitely, it's very well produced. In fact, I think that its production is probably the best part of the album is the production. All the instruments, the overlaying, the playing with these contrasts between minimalism and yet grandioseness, and just the way everything came together very well. It has this strong beat to it, and yet it has those softer notes. And his lyrics just fit very well on top of the music. I'm gonna give the production a perfect 10, honestly, for what it is. I don't know if I would have done anything different in the production. It's very, very well made, very well made. Is the feels, the emotion that I got from it. This is kind of a tough one because, even though the way he sings is kind of reserved at times, you can tell there's a lot of emotion behind what he's saying, and it comes out in his the way he sings certain times. For example, the song Hannah Hunts, where in the beginning it's kind of dreary and nostalgic and sad, it really picks up at the end, where he just kind of full belts this out. I think that was the most powerfully emotional moment of the whole album. It's Hannah Hunt, and it's a great moment. It's a great moment in the album. But as far as the whole album goes, I think the emotion is a little lacking. I mean, especially when you see their earlier stuff. Especially like their first album, there's just emotion everywhere. Just emotion, 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 emotion. Here, it's a little more subdued emotion. It's a little more rationalized, and just don't see it coming out enough. I feel like it could have had a few more moments, like the Hannah Hunt moment. Most of it is kind of him, almost lack of a better word, like kind of preaching these ideals that he has about what it should be, what it shouldn't be, relationships, things like that. But I feel like they could have gone in on it more, on the emotional aspect. Anyways, emotion is what drives the music, really. So I would say I would give it a 7. Just could have done a lot more, I think, emotionally. And fourth category is the cultural impact of the album, and of course, when this album came out, it was highly anticipated, and you would hear these songs everywhere in 2013, even before it came out. Some of the singles, what is it, Diane Young, right? You heard that in I don't know, it was like phone commercials and stuff. It was kind of all over the place. They definitely, they had money. They had money put into this. There was a lot backing them up. And this, again, very highly anticipated album. This definitely made them a lot of money. Still probably is. So cultural impact, when it came out, it was a big deal. There's no one else really doing this kind of music at such a high level, and yet, is this one of the albums we're going to remember in 10, 20, 30 years? I mean, even now, even 5 years ago, I feel like people aren't really remembering it. Now, again, in 20 years, 30 years, we will revisit this, and then it will sound fresh again, But is this one of the bigger albums of 2013, of the 2010s? Of course, it is one of the bigger albums, but I don't think it's to that level. I just don't think it reached a wide enough audience. I don't think enough people are going to resonate with it the way I did it, for example, So, cultural impact. Finally, I do have to say also that, a lot of the lyrics were very culturally influenced. You could tell, he's talking about, a lot in New York City kind of feelings, and talking, he mentions the Kennedys and, nations in decline and all these things that we're kind of going through, which is, very commendable. It's not exactly easy to write lyrics like that, and yet it, pinpoints this moment in time. So I think culturally very well made, and yet I don't know if it's exactly gonna resonate in the future as much. I hope it does. I really do hope it does. But just from where I'm standing right now, I'm gonna give the cultural impact a 7. Basically, the last one is the overall. So all those things combined, those are the things that I think are most important in any album. And you put them together. So it was a 8 for the concept, 10 for the production, 7 for the feels, and 7 for the cultural impact. It gives us an overall of 8, which is amazing. It's still really good. This album is up there for sure. Thoughts is that I love Vampire Weekend. I do. They're great. And hopefully, one day I could do a review for some of their other albums. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.